Welcome to this explainer. Now, if you're a junior developer who's been watching this absolute explosion of AI agents lately, but you're feeling, well, totally overwhelmed by the complex frameworks, the manual deployment, and just the endless coding required to actually build one, you are exactly in the right place. Today, we're breaking down a massive game changer. We're talking about Google's new Agent CLI. Think of this as your definitive playbook for building your very first AI agent from a single prompt right there on your laptop, completely skipping the headache of manual coding.
To really grasp why this tool is such a revolution, you have to wrap your head around its core philosophy. The quote says it all. Agent CLI isn't a coding tool for you, it's a coding tool for your AI. Just think about that for a second. Normally, when you ask an AI assistant to build an agent, you're basically leaving it to read the documentation on the fly, blindly guess how cloud services connect, and, let's be honest, often hallucinate API calls. Agent CLI completely flips that script. It actually hands your AI a highly structured playbook.
So instead of standard AI assistants that just guess and hallucinate, which means you burn hours, you burn tokens, and frankly, you burn your patience, the Agent CLI approach uses structured cheat sheets. Instead of guessing, your AI instantly knows the exact commands to use, the right file structures to create, and the correct deployment patterns. It literally stops the guessing game right in its tracks.
Okay, so here's our quick roadmap for today. We'll start with Windows setup and prerequisites. Then, we'll dive into the 7 skills replacing manual code, followed by actually building a news agent step by step. After that, we'll look at fixing some common errors. And finally, we'll explore the glass box advantage. Let's kick things off with Section 1, Windows Setup and Prerequisites.
According to our source material, getting your machine ready requires 3 super quick installations. First up, you need Node.js. Second, you'll need Python, but specifically with UV. UV is this incredibly fast Python package installer, and you can just add it using pip install UV. And third, you need the Google Cloud CLI, also known as gcloud. If you're on Windows, you can grab this really easily using the winget command.
But wait, here is a massive beginner trap you need to watch out for. After installing the Google Cloud CLI, you absolutely must close and reopen your terminal. I know, it's the classic "have you tried turning it off and on again" rule, but seriously, if you skip this, your system simply won't recognize your gcloud commands. You'll be tearing your hair out before you even write a line of code. So, restart the terminal. It's really that simple.
Right, let's move right along to Section 2, 7 skills replacing manual code.
So you might be wondering, what exactly is a skill in this context? Well, they're simply plain Markdown files. When you install Agent CLI, it globally injects these Markdown files directly into whatever AI coding assistant you're already using, whether that's Gemini CLI, Claude Code, or Cursor. Because these are just plain text rulebooks acting as strict instructions, there are no heavy SDK wrappers or clunky APIs forcing you into a single ecosystem. You face absolutely zero vendor lock-in, which is huge.
And here are those 7 core skills getting injected. Together, they essentially teach your AI to handle the entire software lifecycle on autopilot. Workflow asks clarifying questions, while Scaffold handles all your folders. SDK code nails the exact syntax for Google's agent framework, then eval tests it out, deploy pushes it live, observability tracks your tokens, and publish registers the whole thing. You don't write the framework code anymore. These 7 skills instruct your AI to do all that heavy lifting for you.
Okay, on to the fun part. Section 3, building a news briefing agent.
Let's look at the exact automated sequence here. You kick things off with one simple prompt: build me a news briefing agent. That instantly triggers the skills. The AI immediately generates a design spec, then it scaffolds all the necessary code, runs the tests, and boom, your agent goes live on your local host. Our sources note that this entire loop, from a simple idea to a working local agent, takes just about 5 minutes. 5 minutes!
Actually, I need to pause here because this next part is absolutely vital. Before a single line of Python is ever written, the workflow skill forces the AI to generate a designspec.md file. This document explicitly defines the goals, the required tools, the constraints, and the success criteria. Think of it as establishing first principles. It ensures the AI fully, completely understands what it's building before it just blindly jumps into writing code. So for our specific news agent, that design spec maps out these precise inputs and outputs. On the input side, we just hand it a topic and point it to mock search sources like Bloomberg or Reuters, just to skip complex API setups for the moment. In return, the agent is structured to automatically output a perfectly clean briefing. 5 distinct headlines, a quick TLDR under 50 words, recent funding moves, and a why this matters insight. It's incredibly focused and flawlessly structured.
Let's transition over to Section 4, Fixing Common Junior Dev Errors.
Okay, so you need to know about a very specific, very tight limit, 20. If you're using the default cutting-edge Gemini 3 Flash model on the free tier, you literally only get 20 requests per day. When you're rapidly testing and prototyping your awesome new agent, trust me, you are going to burn through that quota incredibly fast.
But don't worry, the fix is super easy. To manage these tight limits, you just switch over to an older, much more forgiving model, like Gemini 2.5 Flash. You can literally just tell the CLI in plain English to swap the model for you. Or, if you prefer to look under the hood yourself, you can just open up the generated agent.py file and change the model name manually. Easy fix.
Now, the second error you'll almost certainly hit is practically a developer rite of passage, the application default credentials error. Basically, your agent's underlying SDK needs these specific credentials separately from your basic API key. The fix for this one? Just run one single command in your terminal, gcloud auth application default login. A browser window will pop right up, you click allow, and just like that, you're immediately back in business.
Finally, let's look at Section 5, the Glassbox advantage.
We're talking about a massive paradigm shift in visibility here. You see, most AI agent frameworks operate as a black box. They completely hide their inner workings, which basically leaves you completely in the dark whenever things break. But Agent CLI uses a glass box approach. It gives you an events panel that traces and displays every single tool call, every model invocation, and every single error right there in plain sight.
And this absolute transparency, it's exactly why the glass box matters so much, especially for a junior developer. When you can see every single decision the agent is making in real time, debugging transforms from this highly frustrating guessing game into a genuinely intuitive educational process. It's honestly an absolute superpower for learning how AI logic actually functions under the hood.
So, we've covered the environment, the skills, the workflow, and the debugging. All that heavy lifting of framework code and manual configuration has been totally replaced by these structured markdown cheat sheets. So, I'll leave you with this provocative thought as we wrap up this explainer. Now that the guesswork is totally gone, what will your very first AI project be?